This spring quarter marks a bit of history for Auburn University. This is the largest graduating class in the history of this institution.
Without question, the single greatest role model I've had in my Auburn alumni experience is the gentleman we're honored today, Mr. Rule Russell. Over 30 years, I have watched, listened, and admired not only his loyalty and dedication to Auburn, but his loyalty and dedication to his friends and the Auburn family.
And if you are in need of assistance, and you mutter War Eagle, you know that a fellow traveler, if he's in earshot, will get you some help. Sure will. I can promise you that.
Would candidates for the degrees of Doctor of Philosophy and Doctor of Education please rise? Dr. Muse, on behalf of our graduate faculty, it is my pleasure to present these candidates for doctoral degrees.
Nancy Davidson, hooded by Dr. Byrd. Sandra Harris, hooded by Dr. Halpin. Suzanne McGuire, also hooded by Dr. Halpin. Alida Lee Tarver, hooded by Dr. Buckhoff. George Lomax, hooded by Dr. Villoon. Chi Ma, hooded by Dr. Guntel. Manuel Sandoval, hooded by Dr. Guntrell. Stephen Morris, hooded by Dr. Marshall. Srinivas Lu, hooded by Dr. Punta, hooded by Dr. Rowland. Stanislas Sonnen-Holzner, hooded by Dr. Boyd. Hugo Toledo, hooded by Dr. Thompson. Susan Andrews, hooded by Dr. Spencer. Mark Marshall, hooded by Dr. Spencer. Charles Bruce, hooded by Dr. Hackett. Lisa Hammonds, hooded by Dr. Hackett. Chipman Flowers, hooded by Dr. Kominsky. Louise Green, hooded by Dr. Byrd. Amelia Pearson, hooded by Dr. Byrd.
Will all candidates for master's degrees please rise? Dr. Muse, again on behalf of our graduate faculty, it's my pleasure to present these candidates for master's degrees.
Chastity Thompson. Deborah Williams. David Thomas. Christy Gills. John Colby Jr. Daryl Skipwith. Devonna Lehman. Wesley Fountain. Jeffrey Sherman. Roland Weldon Jr. Jeanette Crowder. James Davis III. John Pritchett. Bruce Oliver Sr. Angela Hildebrand. Marcus Kennedy. Tony Aycock. Brad Burnett. William Crocker. Daniel Alfaya. Allison Case. Elizabeth Simmons. Heather Schultz. Robert Grumsky. Norbert Wegman III. Marina Smith. Audrey Marshall. John McGee II. William Holly. Edward McDonald. Aniqua Joffrey. Lisa Blakely. Kathy Waterman. Kristen Henry. Billy Clark. Lee Connor. Lynn Hammond. Julie Riddell. Jennifer Westco Shaniger. Wendy Williams. Musa Keefe Tridor. Carolyn Pratt. Kimberly Murphy. Deanna Whitaker. Christy Tackett. Sandra Lawson Little. Susan Davis. Brent Catchings. Catherine Armbruster. Amy Martin. Brenda Lee Wilson. Andrew Ransom. Laura Weldon. Allison Cahill. Robin Taylor. Catherine Rolather. Lisa Henniger. Carrie Setzer. Eden Underwood. Laurie Bazell. Catherine Yarbrough. Emily Brown. Teresa Lang. Evelyn Glenn. Carrie Deckel. Robert Hutchings Jr. Katrina Miancomo. Jeremy Roberts. David Mines. Franklin Williams Jr. Clarence McGee.
Let me now ask all of the candidates for bachelor's degrees to please stand. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Auburn University, I do now confer upon each of you the bachelor's degree to which you are entitled, with all the rights, privileges, and obligations thereunto pertaining.
Maya Gal-Iher. Leah Ayub. Jonathan Fowler. Bunny Brooks. Lamar Van. Amy Payne. Charmaine Dunn Strickland. Emily Hellman. Sabrina Cagle. Mark Tabarrok. Lisa Gilmet. Grady Smith Jr. Jennifer Tillery. Shannon Elam. Shauna Isbell. Michelle Yates. Timothy Holt. Thomas Kennedy. Randall Palance. Lauren Hillman. Dustin Dollar, Denise Crosby, Brian Black, William Carter, Misty Fuller, Catherine Smalley, Catherine Cunningham, Jason Warner, Jason Bruce, John Butler, Katie Richburg, Brandy Johnson, Jason Reagan, Charles Jones, Latricia Powell, Jeremy Hodges, Tara Williams, Amy Wilkins, Adam Spiegel, Michael Paget, Laura Coker, LaWanda Lance, Casey Ray, Julie Henry, Carl Bartholomew, Melanie Davenhill, April Woodham, Haley Davis, Jessica Woodham, Scott Edmondson, Creedon Stone, Jocelyn Richardson, Laura Root, Elizabeth Johnston, Mark Dunlap, Gabriel Williams, James Miller, Kevin Kaiser, Charles Fincher, Robin Howe, Michael Rogers, Tiffany Dean, Gregory Dean, Philip Keenan, Jeremy Bibanon, Charla Freeman, Shannon Warnicki, Eric Heisner, Jonathan Daniels, Sharon McMurray, Deborah Jones, Jeremy Jones, Joseph Seahorn, Joseph Wingard, David White, Donald Goodrich, Daniel Espy, Jason Bledsoe, Michael Grantham, Billy Jackson, Sherwin Wigley, Joseph Young, School of Architecture, Design, and Construction, Dean Ruth, Jason Vernon, Adam Grandstaff, Amanda Keener, Aaron Weber, Henry Cotter, Jamie Lamar, Christopher Adams, Melvin Little Jr., Chadwick Peak, Stephen Kramer, Fred Telegi, James Adolph Bowers III, Shannon Walls, Kevin Carpenter, Jeffrey Pearson, Robert McKenzie III, Tammy Ford, Amy Duck, Jessica Chapman, Eric Lagman, Keith Cochran, Michael Dodds, Kevin Cowart, Nathan Morgan, Elizabeth Nolan, Kelly Reagan, James Franklin, James Smith, Stephen York, Joshua Bryant, Brian Purdy, Joseph Comer IV, David Holland, Jelima Ingram, Juan Pace, Stephen Brown, Michelle Renaud, Andrew Culp, Keith Redrick, Kevin Boyd Hagerson, Justin Crosby, Dan Minmer, Eric Berg, Jeffrey Humnick, Patrick Redahan, J. Douglas Martin, Richard Shaddix, Blaine Kimbrough, Anna Ruth Brown, Peter Phelps, Rebecca Miller, Justin Miller, Jennifer Nelson, Emily Flagler, Andrew Ledbetter, Kristen Thomas, Hollis Tidwell III, Edward Rowland, William Kinane Jr., Adam Wall, Clifford Brooks, Nicole Shaw, Allison Bryant, Ginger Gressner Cunningham, Jennifer Tice, Laura Cass, Aaron Elston, Thomas Pullman, Kara Graham, William Newton Jr., Jacob Wiseman, Charla Livingston, Carly Bullock, Josh Bass, Jennifer Smith, Brandy Boutwell, Melissa Verney, Ian Jones, Bertram Gardner, Travis Miller, Robert Lewis, Wesley Green, Mark Sharp, Kenrick Weisenhunt, Vince Price, Kenneth Vining, Kevin Smith, Kevin Bell, Aaron Wampler, Daniel Dillon, Heath Hill, Pete Bryant, Clay Thomason, Adam Delk, Michael Howard, Edward Crabtree, Michael Sumners Jr., Matthew Lewis, Todd Ford, Scott Enfinger, Andrew Camp, Garth Rice, College of Business, Dean Alderman. Paul Johnson III, Brett Bush, Megan Moncrief, Amy Milligan, Tasham Davis, Danielle Hillman, Rania Fears, Catherine Musgrove, Shelley Lavette, Kirk Stevens, Trent Ponder, Bradley Hume, James Dorman III, Todd Harrelson, Clay Steed, Paul Turley, Wayne Hinton, Christopher Lawler, Michael Thomas Elson, Ellen Enstrom, Michael Drew III, Shannon Fagan, Julie Jarado, Ashley Mutan, Rosalind Hillier, Catherine Reams, Emily Niebrig, Allison Lowry, Andrew Patton, Lewis Lawrence, Brian Sakuta, Benjamin Rose, David Wilton, Jason Long, Benjamin Finger, Abraham White, Jana Powers, William Callance Jr., Ronica Jackson, Preston Lindsay, Jerika Knight, Artemis Holloway, Marlo Taylor, Bernard Harrison, Stanley Bellamy, Edward McCoy II, Jeremy Thomas, Scott Parsons, Matthew Dupree, Jared Wilkinson, Jeremy Fletcher, Keith Cole, Timothy McKinnon, Shannon Bryant, Laura Ellen Lewis, Gretchen Jess, Emily Jordan, Patrick Heisch, Lisa McKellar, Melinda Thomas, Jay Bosley, John Evers, Alex Null, Jennifer Almy, Alan Smith, Andrew McCallum, James Bowles, Richard Savage, David Roberts III, Joshua Sacka, Kelly Wilson, William Stegall III, Jonathan Lancaster, Stephen Elliott, Robert Edmonds, Brooke Mann, Mary Susan Brewer, Mary Catherine Tucker, Amy Marshall, Stacy Reynolds, Jennifer Dillon, Catherine Tanner, Kimberly Busby, Bradley Morgan, Christopher Davis, Keith LaCruci, Paul Ledford, Elizabeth McAnally, Amanda McCain, Adam Saucer, Kimberly Fredrer, Julian Lanyon, Carrie Howard, Heather Grinder, John Hay, Brian Daniels, Heath Hennig, John Sproul, Ginger Hartigage, Stephanie Lomax, Heather Brown, Georgiana Fuller, Robert Lilly III, Matthew Caudill, Scott Ferguson, Stacy Crow, David Morgan, Karen Wade, Martha Culver, Gerald Raper, Nathaniel Hutchison, Stacy Bors, Christopher Donaldson, Brent Jones, Joshua West, Brent Durham, Ernest Brantley IV, Taylor Adams, Elizabeth Austin, Rachel Summers, Laura Rosenbaum, Matthew Romano, Jennifer Cooper, Brian Davison, Tiffany Henderson, Nancy Earth, Jonathan Gerard, Teresa Moss, Sarah Tinsley, Jennifer Hanselman, Jacob Albritton, Amanda Rogers, Jasmine Hamilton, Wesley Fountain, Amy Rowland, Pamela Buha, David Peckham, Janet Lynn Musselwhite, Meredith Coley, Jennifer Nielsen, Stephen Chad Harris, Brian Keisley, Brian Bolton, Matthew Polinex, Anita Madden, Richard Campbell III, Alan Bellinger, Brian Etheridge, Jana Farmer, Libby Rhodes, Nikki Glazner, Matthew Pearson, Gregory Hughes, Catherine Martin, Cynthia McCrory, Jennifer Smith, Walker Dean III, Emily Smith, Shay Davis, Laurel Moore, Elizabeth Baker, Serenity Hogan, Scott Killamet, Kristen Shrumate, Christy Turner, Christopher Cosby, Ashley Bohr, Adam Landers, Jeffrey Wilson, Kirsten Straw, Mark Yoon, Amy Holland, Joseph Brannon, Christopher Green, Jason Rowland, Ellis Brandon Solomon, Robert Boughton, Lee Peterson, Byron Pickens, Randall Rowe, Beverly Searcy, Amanda Garrett, Henry Murphy, Amanda Howe, Amanda Henderson, Jennifer Ford, John Coker III, John Fox, Jeremy Barnes, Stephen Power II, Cale Tennyson, Samuel Fitz Jr., Laura Sanders, Catherine Hollingsworth, Lindsay Allen, Victoria Lewis, Amy Wadsworth, Betty Peel, Todd Benjamin, Courtney Sowers, Ryan Kruth, Michael Patton, Amy Vickers, Jonathan Nichols, Daniel Weinberg, William Spear III, Daniel Roman, Dennis Redding Jr., Andrew Strickland, Jason Allen, Robert Slay III, Ginger Watford, Heather Wheeler, Jessica Davis, Lindsay Merriweather, Latanya Alexander, Jennifer Weigel, Christopher Lent, Shannon Younger, Christopher Ortello, Ryan Roskowski, Allison Yother, Landry Sawyer, Jared West, Miranda Chinnis, Joshua Code, Matthew Couples, Jim Sharp, Jay Mitchell, Patrick Watts, Tiffany Thompson, Jermaine Russell, Jason Bramhall VI, George Genwright, William Cheatwood, Stephanie Snyder, Tamara Merchant, Jennifer Holly, Laurel White, Shannon Brace, Amanda Case, Eric Hinkle, Stephen Golan, Kimberly Askew, Brooke Janiski, Laura Twait, Elizabeth Smith, John Stallings, Adam Pemberton, Andrew Rhodes, Jennifer Burns, Dana Fletcher, Francie Gallagher, Amy Maglio, Brian Bailey, William Hawley, Marvin Meadows III, Nikita Ingalls, Stacy Cornelson, Tiffany Holt, Mary Weekle, Melinda Bailey, Jacob Tubbs, Laura Botsford, Angela Butts, Jason Conley, Sandra Joanne Stoudemire, Carmen Barletta, Jill Snodgrass, Mitzi Minich, Jennifer McGurk, John Bars, Montfort Burgess III, Heath Watson, Robert McDaniel, Catherine Hill, Mariana Filgo, Cynthia Captain, Chad Cartier, William Kincaid, Randall Farmer, Devlin Williams, Jared Albrecht, Kathleen Patterson, Jennifer Watkins, Brandon Smith, Stephen Freeman, College of Education, Dr. Gorell, and Mr. Tatum. Catherine Baxter. Congratulations. Allison Glassmacher. Kathy George. Giselle Roth. Heather Tolbert. Benjamin Smith. Melissa Sparrow. William Whitaker, Meredith Franks, Shelley Mitchell, Catherine White, Shelley Scott, Jennifer Stevenson, Brandy Persler, Sharon Miller, Alyssa Douglas, Judy Davis, Peter McGowan, Virginia Lee, Monica Butts, Amy Browning, Kristen Hathaway, Laurie Fuller, Krista McNabb, Claire Magnus, Carrie Leggett, Casey Myers, Ellen Lammy, Betsy Adamson, Elizabeth Burrell, Jennifer Morgan, Julie Crowman, Margaret Thompson, Mikhail Russo, Neil Bobkowski, Amanda Peterson, Darrick Riddle, Chris Pettibone, Clinton Northcutt, Jason Osborne, Jane Lantham, Brent Brown, Lynn Ritchie, Megan Smith, Sharon Smith, Chris Torbert, Heather Hicks, Nathan Click, Leslie Cantrell, Julie Johnson, Lindsay Berryman, Michelle Freeman, Amanda Shirley, Stephanie Gable, Alan Graham, Laura McKay, Amy Mulvahill, John Landers III, Alan Bearden, Carrie Pritchford, Ashley Patterson, Rebecca Chrissy, Kelly Eckford, Eden Jilkowski, Scott Thompson, Jenny Morgan, Anna Scott, Kimberly Holyfield, Shannon Sides Weldon, Tony Shaddix, Kimberly Joyner, Maggie Hallbrooks, Sean Pruitt, Kelly Samford, Julie Johnston, Talandria Gaucher, Sabrina Wilson, Tony Walker, Carol Middleton, Rachel Morrell, Leanne Carter, Audrey Bianchi, Amy Chance, William Green, Bradley Harbin, Scott Goodwin, Christopher Strickland, Farrah Fowler, Erica Chancery, Jason Palmer, Leanne Thornton, Cherie Smith, Reginald Moss, Trevora Williams, Crystal Kendrick, Heather Bush, Renee Lozier, Matthew Nelson, Brent Anthony Burkholder, Christina Ross, Meredith Wilson, Katrina Lindy, Amanda Risden, Karen Haynes, Janie Adams, Jason Phelps, Jerry Collette, Mary McKean, Jason Riley, Felicia Sullivan, Jill Harper, Bandy Russell, Cindy Tingle, Kimberly Odom, Amy Stockman, Darcy Johnson, Catherine Stevenson, Loy McCarthy, Jennifer Elliott, Julie Emery, Mary Hilsman, Leslie Pfeiffer, Jamie Bradford, Stephanie Wilson, Mary Margaret Gardner, Blake Bartlett, Jamie Mayer, Linda Thompson, Jennifer White, Melanie Lyren, Catherine Hazeltine, Christopher Aon, Amanda Milton, Brandy Hoggabook, Anna Taverdi, Paige Gibson, Melissa Horn, Alicia Berg, Adrian Shy, Jennifer Gatlin, Aaron Gannon, Krista Singleton, Lizbeth Schwartz, Colleen Crahan, Amanda Lee Langston, Chad Brown, David Chandler, Rachel Huff, Christy Bodek, Amy Boyd, Becky Johnson, Jonathan Gruber, Matthew Sanders, Clark Lyles, Jolie Sykes.
I'd like to ask all of the parents, grandparents, brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, nieces and nephews, spouses and children of our graduates to stand, and I'll ask the graduates to join me in expressing our thanks and appreciation to you. During today's commencement ceremonies, we will award 2,073 degrees, the largest quarters graduating class. Combined with 376 degrees awarded at Auburn University at Montgomery earlier this spring, our total spring graduating class is 2,449 students. This will bring us to the total of 200,110, the total number of degrees awarded since this institution began operations in 1856.
I guess the message I would leave you with is go out and find your role models. I've expressed a few of mine to you, and I didn't do that to be self-serving, but I wanted to point out the types of examples that can influence your life. It may be someone in this auditorium today in your family. It may be one of your faculty members who you've learned under while you were here. It may be someone waiting at home for you when you get there. It may be that first boss on that first job when you leave school. Wherever it is, whoever it is, find those role models, because I firmly believe that the greatest teacher for the future is the past, and you can learn from it.
Mr. Russell, we have a copy of your diploma here to present to you, a copy of the citation that I just read, and we have a hood to put on you, making you officially Dr. Russell, and we would enjoy hearing some comments from you.
Through a stepwise, methodical process, you have learned the discipline for finding the answers and solutions for this week to be applied to the questions which will arise next week, which will in turn ultimately be used to build the future. You're problem solvers.
Candidates will now come forward, escorted by your major professor, as Dr. Fletcher called your name.
Barbara Baker, hooded by Dr. Hitchcock. Regina Dragoin, hooded by Dr. Hitchcock. Brooks Blevins, hooded by Dr. Flint. Sung Ki Cho, hooded by Dr. Cochran. Daniel Ennis, hooded by Dr. Backscheider. Amy Muse, hooded by Dr. Backscheider. Berhanu Tamaru, hooded by Dr. Henderson. Furink Fodor, hooded by Dr. Henderson. Alvina Johnson, hooded by Dr. Henderson. Istavan Talata, hooded by Dr. Goiders. Ahim Karen, hooded by Dr. Goiders. Douglas Martin, hooded by Dr. Baker. Nirmal Potter, hooded by Dr. Clodio. Todd Reeves, hooded by Dr. Roberts. Jane Sabes, hooded by Dr. Watson. James Treharn, hooded by Dr. Sachs. Zigong Shao, hooded by Dr. Fergus. Songpil Yoon, hooded by Dr. Lundberg.
Dr. Muse, on behalf of our graduate faculty, I am pleased to present these candidates for master's degree.
Anessa Graham. Donna Davis. Anop Saturnini. Sirvas Liner. Karthinachian Viraswanathan. Jennifer Riley. Joanne Campbell Tidwell. Kirsten Ratza. Julie Boutwell Peterson. Douglas Gentry. Wei Ching Yi. Brandy Timms. Gilbert Fortnell. Russell Oliver. Kurt Jakubowski. Alina Kaufman. Kelly Norris. Charles Howard. Michelle Cheek, Patrick Wooten, Julianne Embry, Jennifer Williams, Kirsten Granberry, Kelly Bowden, Indy Underwood Hines, Allison McGee, Elizabeth Messer, Ling Wei Yi, Rebecca Robichaud, Rhonda Porter, Thomas Allen Jr., Sarah Luce, Victoria Dotson, Gretchen Tolson, Daniel Snuffer, Kevin Flock, Pamela Miller, Paula Miller, LaShondra Griffin, Tamara Tyler, Allison Sims Hall, John Brooks, Mary DeWeese, Ching Wang.
I do now confer upon each of you the bachelor's degree to which you are entitled, with all the rights, privileges, and obligations thereunto pertaining.
Christy Sims, Ross Armstrong, Brian Carter, Kevin Dries, Ruth Marie Teak, Stephen Bolt, Anthony Van Dusen, Russell Hoffman III, Darton Gibbs Glisson, Christina Nelson, Jasmine Lindu, Carl Sabayas, LaShawn Booth, Richard Howe, Elisa Fife, Jennifer Wilson, Robert Daly, Robert Engel, Clayton Lee Wallace, Lee Hunt, Michael Hagee, Michael Burke, Kevin Sorrells, Nathan Heisick, Travis Peterson, Chad Hodgkinson, David Brassfield Jr., Catherine Yossi, Brandon Ely, Laura Tucker, Lisa Blocksage, Brian Henderson, Jason Farrell, Christopher Whitehurst, Matt Brothers, Jason Rowell, Will Melton, Jimmy Scott II, Christopher Sellers, Hagen Wagner, David Edgerton, Christopher Lancaster, Courtney Jones, Wesley Dawsey, Eric McCord, Owen Ray Womack, Kadada K. Kane, Clifton Osborne, Robert Thomaston, Matthew Parker, Brandon Powell, Heath Blaylock, Shanoa Vick, Eric Seekinger, Larry Smith, Heath Reed, William Liveoak, Stephen Ingram, John Wallace, James Stallings, Ronald Dennis, Richard Meek, Dwayne Eilers, James Buck, Mark Noble, Eric Stanton, Robert Alexander, Daniel Snook, Robert Worka, Robert Sanders, Natalie Marshall, Kyle Thomason, Larry Woods, Carrie Morris, Kelly Off, Brian Lawson, Fadwa Eljak, Tiffany Crowell, Mindy Wicks, Amy Farmer, Michael Haynes, Ryan Kern, Samuel Sipper, Timothy Minat, Robert James, Zachary Scott, Franklin Gooden, Tiffany Crawford, Christopher Daniel, Ty Luke, Kevin Harrison, William Grant, Barunt Singh, Ming Xiao Chen, Jill Rolfingsmeyer, Kelly Walsh, Patricia McClure, Kevin Wiley, Patrick Dorsett, Christina Wilson, Frank Ivester II, Michael Whitley, Matthew Knight, Michael Arnett, Alan Calvo Martinez, Amy Cook, Orville Cave II, Mohammed Bakir, Trip Lindsay, Chris Hamilton, Chad Holland, Brian Yerkes, David Evans, Merrill Hammett, Skylar White, Perlik Abbas, Andrew Chambers, Robert Cleary, Ashley Thompson, Scott Crevasse, Brandon Wolfson, Jason Brock, William Munn, Jason Arrington, Dennis Pike, Gregory Osmond, Zachary Reese Whiting, Barton Carlton, Edward Uhaza Jr., Joseph Carlton III, Stephen Raymond, Jason King, Randall Thrasher, Jason Ramsey, Bradley Fitzgerald, Marietta Smith, Matthew Dunn, Christopher Tillman, Jeremy Zills, Corey Treywick, Glenn Gorell, Robert Shugart Jr., Greg Mitchell, Robin Cobb, Autumn Howerton, Jeannie Letter, David Hodge, Ashley Farless, Amelia McDonald, Amy Bird, William Church, Martin Obizor, Alan Robertson, Jackson Stokes, Kelly Brannon, John Fitch III, Daniel Reese, Daniel Thornton, Christopher Kelm, Melissa Morrow, Roberto Flores, Susan Faust, Charles Chappelle, Craig Taylor, Brian Gregory, Angela Jones, Jason Cole, David Ryman, Catherine Ryman, Otto Piedmont II, Brian Roper, Brent Rice, John Gula, Miles Lindsay, Vishal Varma, Clifton Gauntz, Joseph King, Keely Grinnells, Heather Bateman, Robin Blackburn, Jeremy Evans, Eugene Finley II, Jeremy Redding, Brett Mallory, Ben Frederick III, Alan Britnell, Corey Glover, William Solomon, Stephen Henson, Eric Reynolds, Chad Jones, Jason Simmons, Ryan Cooper, Ching Wei Zong, congratulations, Chapman Womack, Brandon Helms, James Elkins III, Michael Akers, Jeffrey Stanfield, Jin Yu, Corey Thomas, Zach Mitchell, Derek Hammond, Megan Lee, Julie Sink, Jason Freeman, Jason Kirby, Matt Walker, Scotty Smith, Daniel Beck, Jeremy Harris, Alan Reeves, Robert Williams, Allison Parks, Lee Meggs, Pamela Rackley, Lee Hogseth, Corlette Stewart, Kathleen Davis, Evan Golay, Jeremy Griffin, George Mitchell Alford, Michael Bregman, that's right, Jason Robinson, Andrew Guy, Mark Cannon, Brent Shaver, Matthew Gerber, Bradley Chappelle, Matthew Jones, Brian Frederick, Philip Sorrells, Jason Evans, Stephen Carpenter Jr., Matthew Donovan, Leanna Melton, Matthew Whitley, Clinton Mosley, James Parker, George Sims, Thomas Sallow, Jerry McCain, Joshua McHaney, James Ward III, Brian Waldrop, Robert Miller, David Tucker, School of Human Sciences, Dean Hinton, Mary Taylor, Catherine Boutwell, Julie Gagnon, Lindsay Delp, Amy Todd, Tracy Watkins, April Peak, Lori Rao, Beth Harbor, Kimberly Causey, Kendall LaFrance, Emily Evans, Courtney Mitchell, Mindy Philaster, Louise Crosby, Catherine Kane, Karen Caesar, Ashley Hutto, Amanda Collier, April Pickett, Susan Stone, Deanna Dean, Jerry Sue Plexco, Claire Oberg, Tammy Lee, Sabrina Jacks, Alexandra LaGrange, Leslie Pettigrew, Summer Wood, Jennifer Edwards, Ann Catherine Hudson, Kippy Smith, Tina Dingman, Shay Isbell, Angela Barnhill, Julie Drake, Kelly Dorr, Scarlett Kelly, Kelly Downer, Susanna Roach, Tracy Cox, Valerie Woods, Alyssa Payne, Neil Wilder, Grace Chestnut, Shannon Hughes, Amanda Stapleton, Autumn Walden, Christina Watts, Allison Glenn, James Turnipseed, Christine Smith, Bonnie Bishop, Anessa Sinks, Stephanie Foran, John Deason, Danny Layton, Brian Matthews, Jeannie Mullins, Amy Kilgore, Carolyn Rice, Meredith Mosley, Jennifer Manifold, Don Miller, Kendall Herzog, Kelly Spivey, Michelle Hayes-Beck, Tanya Higdon, Dana Tyler, Marnie Robbins, Julie Peterson. College of Liberal Arts, Dean Howman. LaTanya Chapman, Ingrid Houston, Ashley Reynolds, Regina Chandler, Jason Caskey, Misty Stonecker, Shannon O'Connell, Christy Bokerning, Harold Lemire, Shannon Scully, Marie Leach, Jennifer Murphy, Maxine Clayton, Sarah Shepard, Sonia Torre, Lee Daviston, Jennifer Page, Lionel Burrow, Dara Lamunyan, Anessa Figueroa, Brian McCombs, Elizabeth Simmons, Wes Griffith, Kevin McDonough, Teresa Boyd, Stacy Williams, Michelle Flakes, Laurora Hicks, Chesley Brown, Christine Silva, Amy Dismukes, Maria Tortorsi, Lauren Bailey, Tracy Riley, Shelley Altman, Jennifer Hard, Richard Johnson, Karen Anlich, James McNamara IV, Nathaniel Wright V, Selena Lawson, Patricia Cornwell, Kevin Mullins, Deborah Kerr, Hillary Hunt, Carrie Zimmerman, Jamie Gilly, Holly Chandler, Christopher Cox, Jason D'Alessio, Mark Witherspoon, Lisa Hauser, George Lane, Reed Dunlap, Kelly McGee, Laura Britton, Anna Carpenter, Aaron Calloway, Julie Watkins, Brandy Dominy, Beth Ann Greaser, Alice Morgan, Valerie Bohannon, Carden Miller, Kelly Sasser, Eric Penitska, Laura Hughes, Aaron Van Arkel, Kelly Stroke, Stephanie Baker, Todd Anthony, John Alsop Jr., Colleen Tompkins, Lori Lusk, James Culver Jr., Bradley Hightower, Daryl Johnson, Adam Crutchfield, Jane Knox, Guinevere Natter, Hank Powers, Caleb Coppinger, Warren Beeson, Laura T-Fred, Asim Masood, Lauren Ragian, Amy Harris, Brian Cox, Abe Kinney, Jennifer Thompson, Mary Dodd Smith, John Christian, Ted Calabaum, Megan Daughtry, Jill Paxton, Karen Wonder, Alan Simpson, Michael Graziano, Jennifer Neighbors, Autumn Britt, Carrie Ali, Kevin Fickner, Rebecca Schneider, Lorraine Brandt, Amanda Rusco, Wesley Gunn, Karen Amato, Michael Johns, Heather Jordan, Jennifer Ludwig, John Halstead, Amanda Holland, Carrie Diss, Ashley Walker, Catherine Malasmo, Jennifer Mills, Blaine Rosinko, Brad Harris, Reagan Thornton, Elizabeth Fryer, Jamie Akers, Rachel Thompson, Catherine Bryan, Cassie Walker, Bree Davison, Scott Nelson, Jill Pruitt, Kimberly Shepard, Jana Stanfield, Jenny Mazzoni, Karen Dunn, Trevor Hayes, Jeremy Hazelton, Takesha Guster, Jeremy Arthur, Joseph Holloway, Jennifer Landrum, Valerie Cox, Lori Lumsden, you got it? Scott Kraus, congratulations, Scott. John Nance, Stephanie Watanabe, Jessica Fowler, Sunitha Williams, Natasha Mitchell, Ronald Terrell II, Christopher Parker, Tracy Smith, Rachel Herndon, Tammy Smith, Doris Signer, William H. Spinks Jr., Jill Sanderson, Emily Braswell, Dustin Negro, Shannon Neal, Jennifer Nelson, Jeremy Hillman, Kelly Knoll, Nicole Traylor, Maria Avasano, Alan Vanus, Anthony Strickland, Heather Ledbetter, Era Anibet, Ivana Marie Pena, Mandy Alonso, Arik Das, Christina A. Haynes, Tracy Ayers, Elizabeth Brower, Amy Pasek, Stacy Calvert, Kenneth Stubbs, David Patton, Jennifer Clapp, Jarrett Chalhoot, Cameron Long, Travis Parker, Edwin Vaughn, Barry Williamson, Kimberly Taylor, Joseph Ingram, Melissa McDaniel, Lawrence Pierce IV, congratulations, Corey Tucker, Kristen Limbert, Misty Helms, Anna Wembley Tuberville, Leslie Jones, Kevin Varsick, Robert Shipman, Jeffrey Cook, Candace Jackson, Elizabeth Hatfield, Stephanie Iverson, Elaine Platt, Jennifer Schroll, Laurie Levy, Julie Hill, Sean Bowles, Nicholas Kasperger, Jennifer Gibson. Stacy Evans. Jennifer Harris. Ryan Kraus. Felicia Epperting. Brian Simkus. Francis Christina Carter. Sean Marsh. Wade Carden. Rebecca Root. Lee Ebers. Olivia Erickson. Shannon Timmons. Rushton Mellon. Tara Bush. Elizabeth Mumpower. Theodore Roush. Mitchell Parrott. T.J. Shockley. Scott Jernigan. John Winiger. Daniel Limbrick. Jody Free. Matthew Michael. Amy Watts. Justin Gherkin. Juliet Janlewitsky. John Masoni Jr. Theodore Orr. Misty Majette. Travis Holland. Diane Davis. Matt Elman. Michael Harden. Jennifer Riddle. Amanda Parrish. Mary Hiller. Michael Pliant. Eleni Graves. Joel Maxwell. Vincent Atosi IV. Lindsay Carter. Patricia Sellers. Audra Crutchfield. Misty Peterson. Harris Burns III. Carrie Nordling. Crystal Wilson. Jennifer Colopy. Laura Gardner. Monty Orstat. Melissa Bach. Lee Casey. Stacy Enzina. Christy Mull. Benson Martin. Carrie Brown. Christine Morgan. Ashley Hardy. Adam Levine. Rebecca Heisinger. Jeffrey Hicks. Frixie Melton. Shane Haynes. Brianna Curry. Brandy Bell. Douglas Bryant. Stacy Waldrop. Cynthia Deere. Stephanie Molis. Scott Barr. Michael Cinder. Cardell Thomas. Lakeisha Dorn. Laquita Spivey. Nicole Wood. Melissa Mabry. Betsy Whitehead. Suzanne Pickert. Brooke Dollar. Amber Beeson. Ashley Gunter. Lena Sawyer. Carol Teresa Yarbrough. Betsy Jane Staples. Victoria Green. Brandy McCafferty. Amanda Graham. Joy Harris. Ashley Martin. Tanya McCrone. Candace Lynn. Shanna Whitbeck. Lloyd Keel Chalmers. Allison Ball. Courtney Pratt. Jennifer Maddox. Felisa Murphy Gardner. Kimberly Hull. Lee Kent. Gary Meredith. Melissa Arrington. Allison Northington. Jennifer Gilliland. Emily Roberts. Mona Gribben. Mindy Branham. Catherine Pergues, Felicia Watson, Michael Mayo, Brandy Yates, Kelly Burdett, Jennifer Forsch, Susan Pertle, Rebecca Johnson, Sarah Gross, Matthew Walker, Frank Garrison IV, Don Landkeller, Kim Wynn, Jennifer Davis, Brianna Leggett, Amanda Leggett, Nancy Kirkland, Misty Hester, Cammie Frazier, Joanna Shepard, Donna Alexander, Erin Renee Iger, Jeannie Hughes, Renee Wittendorfer, Nikki Boyd, Sarah Rouse, Holly Pritchett, Amanda Seitler, Bree Boyd. College of Sciences and Mathematics, Dean Sneller. Shelley Denise Jones, Laverna Cox, Kelly Michelle Taylor, April Moore, Selena Patterson, Robert Scruggs II, John Edge, Judson Easterwood, James Ertz, Brian Weatherington, Dylan Cochran, Valerie Cure, Heather Bowling, Elizabeth Gillette, Christine Alia, Obnini Naidu, Obina Naidu, Dustin Devers, Tomika Denise Toole, Felicia Marie Bellamy, Bayami Ni Dumina, Tam Van Lee, Patrick Trotter Jr., Sabrina Steele, Joy Bagley,
The recipient of the degree number 200,000 for this institution is Sarah Hazlett from Birmingham, who's receiving her degree today in biomedical sciences.
Teresa Congdon, Haley Burke, Barrett Gribb, Stephanie Spalding, Cynthia Harper, Sarah Allstat, Christopher Ainsworth, Patrick Rossi, Amy Robb, James Allen, Adam Robinette, Matthew Cepeda, Christopher Green, Rebecca Forrester, Julie Toms, Jay Lambert, Roderick Stevens Jr., Thomas Fuqua Jr., Matthew Limbaugh, Wells Hammock, Lindsay Flinknow, Luli Callaway, Jason Hefner, Heather Tatum, Katie Gilbert, Patricia Gumbrill, Elizabeth Griswold, Tati Yote, Elizabeth Ronish, Laurel Watson, Lindsay Ramage, Nathan Hall, Bobby Rhodes, Kristen Florence, Andrew White, Jeffrey Gerard, Brian Porsche, Matthew Busby, Hillary Wood, Megan Shaw, Whitley Matthews III, Thomas Mosley III, Kristen Matthews, David Gamatis, Katie Gray, Shanice Letitia Cromes, Miko Harris, Rebecca Hornsby, Amy Steiner, Shelley McGrady, Laura Ross, Elise Watt, Kristen Martin, Eden Geraltz, Christopher Rao, congratulations, Chris, Melissa Day, Daniel Mosch, Tashika Watson, Rebecca Cody, Stone Doggart Jr., Carrie Ann Sparks, James Hull, Amy Thorne, Wendy White, Matthew Don, Patrick Womack, Jeremy McCarthy, Samantha Budd, Kenneth Robitelli, Patrick Hill, Sally Sanders Naylor, Lee Hill, Eric Muntz, Alan Burton, Josh Williams, Rachel Foster, Kimberly Turner, Jennifer Ward, Greta Sharp, Melissa Parks, Monica Price, Susan Berry,
To our graduates, let me say to you that the diploma you are receiving today should come to you with great joy. It's a personal and professional milestone for you. But it is also a victory for your family and your friends who have supported you spiritually and perhaps financially throughout these challenging years. I'd like to ask the parents, grandparents, brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, nieces and nephews, spouses and children of our graduates to stand, and I'll ask our graduates to join me in expressing our thanks to you.